Welcome to the Real Board Loft, everyone. I am Trip Forman, and today we have special guest Matt Mayhem Biolos from Lost Surfboards.
That's me.
That's this guy here.
That's
on
me.
my left, your right. On the phone and in person all this weekend here at Real, Matt has the froth going for C4. We saw that release in the Telos Islands, and I've been hearing about it all this week
the demo fleet.
The demo fleet.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about C4, Matt, why you're so excited about it.
You know, I've been stoked on C4 for a couple years now. So it's a sandwich construction made with an EPS blank, stringerless. And for strength and for dampening purposes, it's got a 1/8 inch thick, full layer of cork, vacuum bag to the deck. And what the cork does, it obviously adds impact strength. But what it magically does is it dampens the ride. It takes the chatter out of the EPS. We used to do the exposed cork, C3, and that was exposed cork that was like no glass over it. You could see it. And the boards worked amazing. They were light, lively, pliable, and they had like a dampening effect. So they weren't as chattery. Mm-hmm. But they kind of looked like a big turd. The whole board was like brown, it's just, they didn't look incredible, but they rode great. So Drew started experimenting with ways to kind of, glass over the cork, and the cork gets kind of dark. And he painted over the cork, and then the cork disappears, and the board looks like a Firewire or a Torque or just some other kind of sandwich constructions painted board. So we worked with Drew, and we talked about, okay, let's just mask off some areas on the board where we do the carbon fiber, strengthening, and let the cork show through. So the C4 construction is basically a stringerless EPS blank, and it's got an exoskeleton instead of a stringer or any kind of bar or inserted carbon or stiffener. It's got one run of carbon on the bottom and another one on the deck. It uses the cork on the deck for both impact, lengthwise strength, and dampening purposes. And then it's got little carbon tail patches to give you a little more power off the tail. Stringerless EPS has exploded in the surfing world in the last, 6-8 years. It's really become popular. And it just adds a certain amount of liveliness, easy to throw the board around in small surf, easier to get it going, and you can make a really strong board and still keep it light. So they're light, they're strong, they're more easily maneuverable, and intermediate to average surfers really benefit from the qualities, the purposes. Most top-level world-class surfers, they don't really need it. These are boards, especially in boards, when you start riding higher volume boards, like the kind of boards we offer it in, the Puddle Jumper HP, the Reynolds Fish Redux, the El Patron, which is kind of a big guy performance shortboard, and the Crowd Killer. These are boards you ride pretty high volume. And as the board gets higher volume, you want that thing light, and the volume kind of disappears. The board's still really easy to throw around and maneuver. So it really benefits the uses of being in the higher volume boards. That's why you don't see me trying to get my pros to ride them in contests or anything like that. Right. Although you put it under the feet of an open-minded free surfer like a Mason Ho, Ian Crane, Click. I have footage of those guys, and they light up on the things, and they love them, and they can ride them 100 times and they won't fall apart. So it's kind of fun.
So like with the cork, we're a big fan of like what Drew's come up with, like with C3 and C4, and we've always stocked and sold and really enjoyed like when they had the Lazy Boys in cork and the Easy Ups and corks and the beanbag. I still have a beanbag in cork. It's still a great gravel board. But I think, some people didn't like the look. The other one was just people couldn't mentally get their head wrapped around the exposed cork. Like, can I put a tail pad on it? Should I wax it? Should I not wax it? It was just like too much of a mind melt.
Yeah.
So but the performance was definitely there. Yeah. And so having the performance in a board like this, where it's actually in the construction and enclosed in the construction,
it's visually easier to.
Yeah, you could wax it. Like you could put a tail pad on it, of which you could do. You could do both with the C3, but this is just like a way easier construction for most people to wrap their head around.
Right now, this is my favorite alternative construction. To me, it just feels really natural under your feet. I just did a trip to Indonesia. I went to Bali for 10 days. I went to the Telos for 2 weeks, and I rode C4 boards predominantly on that trip and just had a blast. It wasn't like bombing classic Indonesia. It was just everyday, fun, warm reef breaks, still powerful, fun waves, but not like stand in the barrel and soul arch type or heavy, intimidating surf.
Right.
Another thing about the C4 is it's pretty much, there's a lot of hype and jive and ballyhoo about recyclable or sustainable and eco-friendly. And to me, most of it's a bunch of malarkey. But cork is really, if you really want to get down to it, it's the only sustainable, renewable resource product, period, that's being used in any surfboards. Because let's remember, cork, unlike a stringer or unlike Divinycell or any of these other strengthening devices or balsa or whatever, cork is peeled off of a tree, like shearing a sheep. They peel it off a tree, and that tree doesn't get cut down. That tree grows back its cork again, its bark, and is reharvested a number of years later. So it's a completely renewable, sustainable material.
The other
kind of cool, and that's not we're not going out and like, it's just a fact.
Yeah. The other big thing about sustainable is that even a lot of times bigger is that the board lasts.
It lasts.
That the board itself isn't going into a landfill. And so the strength of the cork, for the actual breaking strength of the board, but even more importantly, I think a lot of people, when they think about cork, they think about pushing a pin like into a cork board, but they don't think about like the impact strength, like your heels going into the board again and again. Yeah. And that's, not only does it hold your heel from caving in the deck of the board, but it actually also has a little bit of resiliency coming back. Yeah, it comes back. Which normal PU foam doesn't do that.
No, the EPS helps with that. The cork actually pulls the EPS back to its original shape. And the dampening, the performance is really noticeable. It takes the chatter out from under your feet, which is really easy to feel on most EPS boards.
We had a session.
It goes from like ting 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 to do.
We had a session at Las Flores in El Salvador on these boards, and it was after the wind had come up, and it was just total chop mayhem to the point where everybody paddled in. It was just two of us, and it got so bad that we just switched the whole session over to who could take the craziest drop, rather than like the quality of the wave, just to keep it focused on fun.
Yeah.
And the boards were just absorbing everything, and we actually trying to track the wave on the watch. We actually got our highest speeds in the choppiest conditions because the board would absorb the chop. The cork would dampen the chop and allow you to keep surfing. So it's a noticeable difference.
I can't even use a television remote nowadays, let alone those fancy.
But anyway, it works.
I'm an analog.
It works. To have it be so choppy that 5 surf camps aren't surfing.
Yeah.
And you're still out there having
5 surf camps surf that wave now?
Yeah.
Oh, what a buzzkill.
It's crowded. But to have 5 surf camps not surfing and you're still having a good time on a board is I think is a telltale sign.
Cool. So that's C4. I love it.
We're stoked with how it's working, and thanks Drew for coming up with it, and thanks for Matt for recognizing what's going on and putting it in the lineup.
Yeah.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. If you have any questions about C4 construction or you want to place an order for any of the Lost boards available in C4 construction, you can always give us a call at the shop, 252-987-6000, or you can look us up online, realwatersports.com/surfing. Thanks for tuning in.